Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Real Bros podcast. My name is Logan Thomas, and with me, as always, is my most excellent co-host,
Caden Green.
and together we are
The Real Bros.
Back again with a brand new episode for you. And we are covering one of my movies this week, and that is The Shining. Dun. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm drawing a blank on how the music goes. It's dun, it's kind of like Jaws, but it's in like a different
Octave.
and it
Slower pacing.
Yes, very much slower pacing. But other than that, Caden, what are your thoughts on The Shining? I don't remember if this was a first time watch for you or not.
This one, the time we watched it for the podcast was not. Because me, you, and Hunter had watched it before.
That is right.
We binged The Shining, followed immediately after by Dr. Sleep.
That is right. That was a 5-hour movie-mathon. That was torturous.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was a mom and dad's because we watched on the 70-inch.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a long night.
I can't not remember it.
Yeah. we had a couple of those over there.
Yeah.
But with that being said, and we obviously have a history with it, does it do for you what the movie should do for you? I don't know if that makes sense.
It does not, but I think I'll interpret it as best I can. The movie does leave me questioning what is happening 90% of the time.
And I wholly blame that on the writing, with it being written as like a very interpretive film.
Yeah.
Which is why I think people need to read the book as to kind of help understand, because everybody knows Stephen King hates this movie because it's such a change from the book. But I love this movie. It was one of the first horror movies I ever watched. The Shining has been with me almost as long as the Universal Monsters have.
Mm.
In a sense of, my dad mostly got me into horror.
Okay.
And he always used to, when I was young, he always used to be like, there was always one movie that scared the heck out of me. And that was The Shining. Just because of how weird it was.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when he watched it in theaters. And when he was like our age.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
And he'd always be like, yeah, pretty much the guy goes crazy and murders his family with an axe. And that was all the information I got for like years. And then once I started getting older, I was like, what's this movie, Dad? I'm like, can I watch this movie with you? And he was like, no. And then like 200 more times after asking him about it, he got so annoyed. I remember walking through Walmart one time during Halloween, and I seen it there on like the $5 DVD rack or whatever when they had those. I was like, hey, Dad, look what it is. And I heard him literally talk to Mom and say, I swear to God, I'm just about ready to sit him down and have him watch it. We can stop asking me about it. And then I was playing video games in my bedroom one day when Mom was at work, and it was just me and him. And he called me out to the living room, and he's like, we're going to watch something. I was like, okay. And this had been like a year or two since I'd brought up The Shining or all. It wasn't in my brain at all. And then I sat down and the opening was going, and I was like, what the heck is this? And then the title card went up, was like, oh God.
I get to finally watch it. Yippee!
It was both that and like
dread.
Yes. We only made it halfway through when Mom walked. Literally the last thing I saw was the bathtub scene. I didn't get to finish it because Mom came in and she said, turn this off, because she hates horror movies.
Mm.
So like for 2 years, I had only seen pretty much the first half of The Shining, and I was left with like,
what happens next?
More like just, what did I just watch?
That is probably the biggest cliffhanger I have ever heard.
I know. And then I had forgotten most of it, but like the bathtub was just so disturbing to a 13-year-old me that I was just like,
Oh no.
I don't need to finish this, I think.
Yeah.
And then when I became like 20, when I was like getting back into horror and I was like watching like Halloween, all this other stuff, I got the $5 Shining DVD and I put it in. I watched the whole thing. I was like, okay, my world kind of makes sense now in a way. I'm still questioning half the movie
Oh yeah.
with like hundreds of times that I've watched it since, but it makes more sense to me ish. Other than that, what do you have to say about The Shining?
You said it yourself. There's a lot to interpret with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read the book, so I don't know personally how accurate it is.
I read it once a long time ago, and I remember about half of it.
And how accurate would you say it was?
It's accurate to a degree because there are stuff they changed.
Right.
Because like the hedge maze is non-existent in the book
Okay.
because it's a bunch of topiaries. That is the animals that are carved out of grass.
Oh, okay.
There's those. It's not an axe; it's a crochet mallet. In the novel.
Okay.
Those are the biggest differences that I can think of off the top of my head. But other than that, like the basis is still there, but like it's much more not as interpretive of a story as the movie is.
Right.
But other than that, it's pretty close. And at the end of the first book, the hotel burns down.
Oh.
That was one of the things that Stephen King hated the most.
About the book or the movie?
About the movie, it didn't burn down. Because I was watching the bonus features for Dr. Sleep, and he said, my novel ended in fire, and the movie ended in ice.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an opposite there. Okay. I think we've drugged this out long enough.
You think?
No.
Okay.
This is another 2 hours of just this.
No.
Caden, take us through your quick review.
All right. So, as we've discussed, the movie we're talking about is The Shining, made in 1980 with a R rating.
Mm-hmm.
And it essentially follows the Torrance family as they go to the Overlook Hotel to do I would almost call it a winter house cleaning to upkeep.
Essentially, it's just caretake, making sure nothing happens to it from the winter elements or whatever.
Yeah. And it's during this time where the main events of the movie happen
Mm-hmm.
because they're isolated and Jack suffers from what they call in the movie cabin fever.
Yes.
And that's as far as I'm going to go without getting into
Spoilers.
the movie.
The spoilers.
Yeah.
Even then, we can't really interpret it because it's just our interpretation.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's, like, one of the things about this. Like, I could see the movie and then somebody else watch it and see something entirely else.
Oh, yeah.
Through, like, the mental states at the film and everything. And that's one of the things I love about it. Is that all for your quick review, my good sir?
That's going to be all.
All right. Are we ready to get into some production tales?
Well, of course.
All right. So as many of you may know, this movie was made by Stanley Kubrick, who is a world-renowned director. He did 2001: A Space Odyssey. He did Barry Lyndon, which was his actual film he made before this movie. And so it was Barry Lyndon was a period film about an Irishman in European aristocracy and pretty much the movie bombed.
Oh.
And so critics called it too long and too slow. And after this, Kubrick realized he needed to make a movie that could be a financial success and artistically fulfilling for himself.
Okay.
Which, as you can imagine, might be kind of hard to attain.
Yeah.
Because usually art films aren't exactly
the best.
I don't want to say blockbusters, but like the category before a blockbuster. It just makes its money back and then some.
Block crackers.
I don't think we can say that.
Uh,
Anywho,
anyway.
Kubrick told his staff to bring him horror books.
Okay.
And this is in quotes on here. Kubrick's secretary heard the sound of each book hitting the wall as the director flung it into a reject pile after reading the first few pages. Finally, one day, the secretary noticed it had been a while since she had heard the thud of another writer's work biting the dust. She walked in to check on her boss and found Kubrick deeply engrossed in reading a copy of the manuscript of The Shining.
Okay.
That's a surprise, right? I didn't see that coming.
See what coming?
Exactly. Speaking about the theme of the film, there's something inherently wrong with the human personality. There's an evil side to it. One of the things that horror stories can do is show us the archetypes of the unconscious. We can see the dark side without having to confront it directly. Those are pretty much kind of in quotations-ish.
Okay.
But that's kind of understandable.
Yeah.
And I know it's not like the main theme of the book, but it's definitely a major theme of the book.
Right.
Because when King wrote the book, he was suffering from alcoholism.
Oh.
And that plays into the character of Jack, who is suffering from alcoholism and he's sober and everything.
Right.
And that was one of the things that Stephen King has openly talked about. Like, when I wrote The Shining, I was drunk most of the time. And when he wrote Dr. Sleep, he was sober for years.
Okay.
And that's how he felt like he was able to tell the second half of that story while feeling what the character pretty much went through.
Okay.
Through Dan, essentially.
Okay, I like that. I didn't know that. That makes
and honestly, I think it shows in the story. And I think that's really how he captured the story, the journey that Dan went through in Dr. Sleep, going from alcoholism to being sober.
right.
And yeah, it's just written really well. I love both the books. And pretty much Kubrick put out a ad for 5 to 7 year old boys to play Danny Torrance. And he obviously got Danny Lloyd.
Okay.
And this was really his only acting credit. Because, like, I'm not saying the kid's a bad actor. But, like, when you're that young, it's really hard to be, like, Academy Award winning material, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because, like, most of his acting is really in his eyes and in his expressions, really. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Was he in anything else?
Danny Lloyd was his name, right?
Yes.
I don't know. It's just it looks like the
no.
original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But I don't know how true that is.
Anywho, I haven't seen him in anything else. But on to the major thing was Jack Torrance.
Yes.
Nicholson was Kubrick's choice. It's he. I don't want to say he wrote the character for Jack Nicholson, but it kind of feels like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, Other actors considered Robert De Niro. I think he would have went too much. I'm not saying Jack Nicholson didn't, but he did it effortlessly.
Yeah.
Um, Robin Williams tried out.
I can see that. But I feel like, now granted, I know that he was able to do serious roles,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't see it. I feel like it would be too lighthearted.
He's just too known for playing loving characters.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford tried out for it.
Nope.
I think he could have, because I've seen a movie called What Lies Beneath, and it's essentially about a husband who cheats on his wife and covers it up by killing the third party,
Okay.
and then paranormal occurrences happen, and the wife uncovers the whole thing, and Harrison Ford does a great job playing a evil crazy guy. Like the last act of that film, like it was pretty good. I will admit that. Chris Christopherson. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do not.
He's more known for music.
Okay.
John Voight.
Nope.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
The president from the Secretary of Defense from Transformers.
Trying to recall. It's not, can't match a face to the name.
Oh Lord. I know you don't know who Michael Moriarty is. Or Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen is Uncle Ben from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
I have never watched any of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
What?
I know.
What?
I skipped right over those.
Oh wow. Oh,
I
okay.
watched all 3 Tobey Maguire and I watched all 3 Tom Holland. Never got into Andrew Garfield.
I'm learning something new about you. This is crazy.
I don't like that fact, but there you go.
Wow. Okay. But pretty much Nicholson got it because of a movie he did before this called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that movie?
Nope.
It's a good movie. And for Wendy, Nicholson initially suggested that Jessica Lange should play Wendy. The name is familiar to me. I can't picture a face per se. Shelley Duvall, on the other hand, knew early that she was the one cast for the role, and Nicholson would work with Lange on his next movie.
What was the first name?
Jessica Lange.
Lange. Okay.
Alange.
Okay. Yeah, I got some pictures here.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that she looks kind of familiar. And as most people might know, Duvall pretty much got, I don't want to say abused on the set of this movie, but she was pushed very, very hard.
Which I can believe that.
To get, and Kubrick did it himself to get the performance out of her that he wanted. Because like when you're in a Stanley Kubrick movie, sometimes he did like 100 takes for one shot.
Oh no.
Like that was how like meticulous, quote unquote, he was. Like like some days there'd be like an entire day where they only got maybe 1 or 2 scenes recorded because of like he couldn't find the one he wanted. Essentially, it sounds unbearable.
Oh, it probably was.
Oh yeah.
Like, think about it like this. You're working for him. There's a little dining room table scene. Mashed potatoes, right?
Yeah.
100 takes
Oh
of
god.
eating those mashed potatoes. I can't remember who did it, but it was like somebody had to do that, and after 20 takes, they refused to eat mashed potatoes anymore because
There was a movie, and it had an actor. Oh, it was on Parks and Recreation.
okay, so not a movie.
Not a movie. I'm sorry. But it was an episode where they were eating at a place called Jurassic Pork, which callback for on the show. Chris Pratt character was eating ribs. They had to do 50 takes
That's what it is.
of the show, and each take he ate an entire rack of ribs.
Oh,
And then after filming and everything, they took everybody out for barbecue. That would have been so torturous.
Granted, ribs are good.
But he literally said like it was okay. I got like 50 free meals. I was all right with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to Dick Halloran. The original actor offered was his name was Slim Pickens. 2 words.
I feel like I've heard that name before, but it's not.
He had worked with Kubrick on Doctor Strangelove. I've only heard of the movie. I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 like bits of it for film class, but it was like it's kind of like an Oppenheimer / weird 60s vibe. It was a really weird movie. But Kubrick declined him, and Scatman Crothers got the part after he had been suggested by Pickens's agent.
Which, by the way, is my favorite character.
Yes.
I absolutely love his acting.
And it just doesn't help that he voiced most of my childhood as Hong Kong Phooey. Like, after I watched this movie, I was like, wait a minute.
That sounds familiar.
Oh my gosh, it's Hong Kong Phooey. Okay. Originally, for Danny Torrance, they wanted Carrie Guffey, who is in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which was a Spielberg movie. I want that movie.
I've never seen it, never heard of it.
Oof. But the young actor's parents refused, saying the film was too gruesome for a child. And then they got Danny. Kubrick sent a husband and wife team who had worked with him on Barry Lyndon. And so they sent him over, and he did a screen test with Duvall, and he got it. Pretty much finding him was like the easiest thing. Here we go. Following his role in 1982, Will G. Gordon Liddy, Lloyd abandoned his acting career. So he maybe did 2 or maybe 1 more things, because this was 2 years later. So,
which I mean,
I understand.
Good for him. Like, it is a little controversial opinion here, maybe. I don't think kids should be in Hollywood, or if they are, like, family friendly or family related.
Like, because I have no problem with child actors,
Right?
but like once that movie is done, get them out of there.
Yeah.
And if they want to go back, take them back for when they get cast for something, then take them back away again. Don't just leave them there and just be like, well, here I got a money making cow or something over here. Let's just use and abuse him till I can get everything out of him, and then he becomes a drug addict. Then I
Yeah.
lose everything.
It's like,
It's so sad.
uh, Diary, Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies.
Mm-hmm.
All child actors for the majority,
Yeah.
but they got permission from the school to record the movie there.
Yeah.
So that way, while recording was going on, the kids could still attend school like normal,
Right.
go about their day, and pretty much nothing really changed other than the recordings.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't wish child acting on anybody,
No.
but like sometimes it turns out good, and sometimes it turns out terrible.
A lot of Disney stars.
We're not getting into any of that because
Don't test me.
this is not conspiracy bros coming out and
No,
never.
no, don't test me.
All right.
Anyway.
I have a guessing question for you.
Oh, my favorite. What's up?
How long do you think this main photography for this movie took?
90 days.
It
Higher or lower?
started in May of 1978,
Okay.
finished April of 1979. Over a year.
Oh.
That's what happens when you do 100 takes a day and you only get one or two scenes a day.
Yeah.
And it took place mainly in Elstree Studios, which is where like a lot of Lucasfilm stuff got filmed.
Yeah.
So holy crap, over a year of making a movie. Dear God. That's the longest production we've had on the show.
Yeah.
So for the exterior of the hotel, which was anybody who's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about here. It is an actual hotel in Colorado. And it doesn't say the name of it, but anywho, they did all the overhead shots at the hotel, and then for all the close-up stuff, they literally built the front of that hotel for like that scene when they're like walking in front during their tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's handmade.
Oh.
For the movie.
No.
And then the entire inside was pretty much like they built essentially a hotel on one floor, but like all the rooms and everything.
No.
They hand built all of that.
No. Why?
And he literally like sent people out. Kubrick sent people out to hotels to get ideas for different rooms. Like the bathtub room. They got that from one of his people staying at a hotel, and that was pretty much like the room they stayed in.
What's the point? I think through the entire movie, we only see the inside of 3 or 4 rooms.
Yeah. But for the most part of it, it'd be for those tricycle scenes. If you think about it.
No, he's in the hallway.
No, remember when he goes like through the kitchen and then through that lounge and then like through a couple of hallways of rooms? He does go in several different places.
He goes in one room, and that is the bad room, which we will get into in the spoiler review. Everything else is a hallway or hallway similar.
Yes.
It is not an actual room.
Yes.
So if you're telling me that production team had to hand model every room on a hotel floor,
I wouldn't say every room, but like the ones that they used, those were hand
Okay,
designed.
that I can understand, but if it's every room, something's wrong. There's no reason for that unless the entire crew is staying there.
Yeah, it'd be different if yeah, that would be very 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 different. Um, actually, at in February of 1979, which this caused a major delay. The Colorado Lounge, the room where Jack types in,
Mhm.
caught fire,
Oh,
and that caused a major. It was badly damaged and caused a major delay.
yeah, that'll do it.
And there was some, as I said, some shots that were filmed on location.
Right,
Not a lot of it, but some of it was. Like the
right.
hedge maze was is an actual hedge maze at that hotel, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, other than that, there is one more thing I want to mention before we get on here. You know the term Steadicam.
Yes.
This was one of the first films that used Steadicam.
Okay. I
Is
can I can kind of see it.
and I say that very very lightly, like it had been used like 3 or 4 years beforehand, but not many people were using it. Um, but yeah, like and for and it's mostly used for the bicycle.
Okay. Which that I can definitely understand
Yeah.
because you're keeping up with the toddler going full speed on a trike down hallways,
Yeah.
which the camera did move very nice. I do like that.
Yeah.
It was fluid motion,
Mhm.
but
And they pretty much like and it says right here this required the Steadicam to be on a special mount resembling a wheelchair in which the operator sat while pulling a platform with the sound man, and the weight of the rig and its occupants proved to be much too for the real it caused several crashes. Their original um uh their attempt to film those scenes. Let's just say that.
I can believe that.
And that's pretty much it. It talks about the music, which the music in this movie
Can't remember it.
is very orchestral and very very eerie. I will give it that.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. How much money do you think this movie cost? It's not as high as what I thought it would be.
5 million,
Okay, not that low.
50 million,
Not that high.
25 million. I'll meet you in the middle.
Um, still too high.
10 million,
Too low.
20 million.
You're so close.
Either you tell me right now or I'm throwing my notebook at you.
$19 million. How much do you think this movie made?
$21 million and 2 cents.
$47.3 million.
I think I was a little off.
Just a little bit. If I gave you like 5 more tries, you probably would have got there.
Yeah, but I would have thrown my book at you by then.
That's fair.
And everything else within my range.
All the board games over there.
At that point, I might as well just throw the shelf.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Kane. We're about to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your spoiler warning.
Is there anything you would like to add before we get into spoiler warning?
I would consider this a must-see horror film. I definitely rank this among my top 10 favorite horror movies.
See, I have a different opinion of it It's a classic horror movie, but to me, that doesn't mean it's a good horror movie.
It's definitely not for everybody. And when I say that, I mean like it's a slow burn.
Very slow burn. Like, I
It's
think, the opening itself takes 20-25 minutes?
it, the opening credits is like 5 minutes,
It feels longer.
but like when but the thing about that is the way it works, it makes you feel that trip essentially.
Right.
And I kind of like that. This movie tries to put you in the mental space of the family, and I like that. That's one of the things about Stephen King's novels I like, is because it it messes with your mind more than it's like, oh my god, that's terrible to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You definitely feel what the family's feeling, because halfway through the movie, I thought I was starting to get cabin fever. It kept going. It's like, oh, there's a little anger going on. What time is it? Oh, it's been an hour.
We still got an hour and a half left, everybody.
Yeah.
I will admit that once it does hit that bathtub scene, the pace picks up immediately after that.
Which, I don't know if you'll agree on this, but I think the actual review of it, we might be able to get through fairly quickly.
I think so, because like we don't have to hit every single beat for this, because
Yeah,
well,
every title card of Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday,
that
next month,
that's
that morning.
and that's another thing. This movie is very chapterized,
Yes.
which I like that, because then it shows the progression, and it doesn't feel like, oh well, they've only been there a week. Oh, there's an axe. Oh my god! Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It makes you feel the duration of the stay at the hotel. And I think that's the only way they could have made that feel like that.
Yeah.
And if you remember in Doctor Sleep, that movie is chapterized too.
Which, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember Dr. Sleep.
I've watched Shining and Doctor Sleep with several people, and they found Doctor Sleep the superior film.
Which, I think I said that when I originally watched it.
And it helps that it expands everything that The Shining does,
Yeah.
because it is a very small, very very small piece of what this world is,
Yeah.
by far. Because like for the longest time we're like, what exactly is The Shining? Like the power.
It makes you glow in the dark, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd love to have The Shining. Then I wouldn't have to stumble my way through my apartment in the middle of the night.
Hey, that's one helpful tip.
Yeah.
All right, Caden, are we ready to get into it?
Last warning, if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. I'm sure there's plenty of platforms you can find it on. I'm going to be honest, I don't really like it all that much. I would say out of all the movies we've watched on your side, this is probably one of my least favorites.
And that is totally fine, because it is such a polarizing film.
Yeah, there's just so much going on. But before we go on another tangent, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Logan likes it. I'm iffy with it, but it's still worth a watch to get your own opinion.
Would I, and before we get started, I just want to ask you this. If it was more straightforward, would you have liked it?
See, I think it was straightforward enough. It's just, it's like you said, there's hardly anything explained in that movie. And so you're just kind of...
So you would have preferred it not be an interpretive film.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way you can say like, this is the definitive lore or whatever.
Yes. Which, there are movies I have watched that are interpretive that I enjoy,
Right.
but this one just it doesn't hit that scratch for
And
me.
and I will admit, I was there with you, not like with you per se, but like when first time I watched the new Nosferatu, that's exactly how I felt. Cuz like I couldn't interpret it, and I'd only seen it once for the longest time, but I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and like it finally like makes sense to me.
Right.
And I don't know if that would help you in this film or not, because we watched this one 2 times.
3 times.
Did we?
Well, 2 times for the podcast. Third time.
That's right. That's right. And I didn't know if like that might help you, or like maybe reading the book might help understand. I don't know.
I feel like honestly the book would have been more helpful understanding it
Which
than watching the same inconclusive movie a second time.
right. But I will say this: this is not a sponsor.
No.
If you have Spotify Premium, which me and you do,
Yes.
and we are on currently right now.
Yes.
If you look up The Shining on Spotify,
It'll have an audiobook, right?
it is.
Because a lot of, again, not sponsored. We'll never get sponsored.
No.
But a lot of audiobooks are on Spotify.
Yes, and there are a lot of them that are free with your premium subscription. It is, you get 15 hours a month. I don't do an audiobook every month, but a lot of times I do try to do an audiobook. The Shining is one of the books that are on Spotify, and most of Stephen King's catalog I will add too. Go check that out too. If you've seen The Shining, if you don't understand it and you don't have time to sit there and read a book, check out the audiobook.
Yeah.
I have found audiobooks are the easiest way for me to retain knowledge from a novel. And also because it's the most time saving for me. So, other than that, and that totally non-sponsored
Definitely
spiel right there,
not sponsored. Just kind of a helping hand.
it's a public service announcement.
Yeah, sure.
It felt weird to try to talk like I had a sponsor. I'm so sorry.
All right. Are we ready to start the show?
I thought we already started the show half an hour ago.
Shut up.
Yes. We're
Anything else?
No.
Okay. We are now entering spoiler territory. Take it away.
Thank you, Maestro. Curtains rise.
No, we're not doing a play scene. Just
Aw. Okay. So the film starts with a landscape shot in the middle of a lake, and the theme music plays, and this 5-minute thing is pretty much one helicopter, one take of a yellow car driving up to the Overlook Hotel, which is Jack Torrance on his way there for his interview for the caretaker position.
yeah.
And he arrives there, and he has a meeting with Mr. Ullman, who is the
I want to say CEO. Because I feel like that would not CEO, but
manager.
Manager.
And Bill Watson. He doesn't really have a title. I just consider him the Mr. Ullman's underling.
Yeah.
Many underlings.
This is completely off topic, but Watson, but
Bill,
not Bill, the other guy,
Mr. Ullman.
Ullman. For some reason, whenever I see him, I think, oh, that's David Hasselhoff.
He does have some Hasselhoff-esque features.
He does.
It's just sad that he looks like 80-ish.
Yeah.
And his hair is odd. But in this scene, I will admit, both Jack and Mr. Ullman wear knitted ties.
Yes. And they don't look bad.
And I will admit, this was shot in the 70s. That was some fine style.
Oh, yeah.
Goes well with like tweed outfits or whatever. um, but he's there for an interview, and he finds out that the previous caretaker, not the previous caretaker, the caretaker I would say about 10 or so years ago, succumbed to cabin fever and killed his family with an axe and then blew his brains out with a shotgun.
Very graphic, but it gets worse.
It does get worse.
Spoiler. Spoiler warning.
Spoiler with us, Danny.
No, stop it. Stop it.
But
every time they come up, I want to punch them, and I can't. A, because they're not in front of me, and B, they're ghosts. Anyway.
And they're kids.
That doesn't affect it.
Oh, noted. But
kidding, of course.
Not kidding.
Kidding.
And I can't remember the cut here per se, if it cuts in between the interview and Danny and Wendy. I can't say that with 100% certainty.
I think it does, because the next scene, it does cut after. Hold on.
It cuts after like the story
of
Mr. Grady.
He gets the job,
mm-hmm.
and then it cuts back to Wendy and Jack talking on the phone.
Yes.
And then Jack says it'll be a little bit before he comes home that night.
Yeah, it'd be like 9 or 10 or so before he got home.
Which, I mean, it's what, a 6-hour drive, they said?
3-hour drive.
3 hour.
Because he's living in Boulder, Colorado. He'd moved there. He's a school teacher, but he gave that up because he wanted to be a writer. Oh, funny. A writer in a Stephen King story.
Wow.
How interesting.
What are the odds?
I don't know. I really don't. But in this Danny and Wendy scene, we get introduced to them. Yes. And Tony.
Yes. Tony is like a imaginary friend of Danny's.
Yes. But we will soon come to learn that it is something else. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or do you want to wait?
I think we can wait on it.
Okay.
Because, yeah, we'll wait.
Okay. And so Jack calls Wendy and says, "Hey, babe, I got the job. It'll be late before the time I get home." And it cuts to Danny in the in his little bathroom, and he's talking to Tony. He's like, "Do you think he got the job?" And Tony's like, "Yes, he just called, and they got the job."
Which Logan did the Tony thing, but none of you can see it.
Yeah.
Whenever Tony is talking, Danny will make a fist, extend the pointer, and curl it as he's talking.
Mm-hmm.
He'll curl it and uncurl it.
Yeah. I think it's more of just to play off the fact that Tony's a manifestation and to kind of give it essentially like a sock puppet type
character.
Vibe.
Give it character.
Yes. But he's like, "I don't want to go to the hotel, Danny. I don't want to go to the hotel." And Danny asks why. And he sees, and if anybody's seen anything knows this scene, it's the elevator that opens with the splashing gallons upon gallons of blood.
Which is a very impressive scene.
Yes. I think they only did that in one take.
Yeah, because I would not want to be the cleanup crew just to hear, yeah, sorry, I forgot to take the lens off, the cap off the lens. We got to do another take.
The cleanup crew just death stares at you.
I would quit.
Would you rather be the cleanup crew for that or an episode of the Game Grumps?
What are you talking about? There's no comparison. Oh, let's see. On one hand, easily over 500 gallons of pig blood. Probably. Or B, a few pieces of cheese, some Peep marshmallows, and a pickle. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't really like touching people's food. For those of you who have the video podcast, it doesn't exist. Caden is death staring me right now. Um, anywho. Okay. And so we get back to, and it jumps time after this whole interview thing and the Wendy thing.
What would you say it jumps? Like a month?
I would say so, because I feel like they have to have a decent amount of time in between hiring their caretaker and them having to be there the day of closing.
Yeah.
So because like they have to like make arrangements for living there for 6 months.
Yeah. I would say a month because they're just starting to move everyone out for the winter season, whereas before everyone was still there were still customers sleeping there. And then spoiler alert, like 2 weeks later it starts snowing.
Yes, pretty much.
So
Okay. We're at closing day. Everybody's getting the tour.
yes.
It's not really important about the tour. It just shows you pretty much the rooms we're going to be occupying throughout the film, which is like 5 ish.
Yeah. And even then there's the two that only really matter to me. The kitchen, the main hallway, like the entrance, and then the lobby area.
Yeah.
To me, those are the 3 most important areas.
Yeah.
And that seems to be where everything happens.
But Jack and Wendy and Danny separate because Wendy and them meet Dick Halloran, where he gets the tour of the kitchen because he's the hotel cook.
Yes.
And
favorite character.
Yes, he is awesome. He lives in the novel. Oh crap. And at this point we learn he and Danny are communicating with The Shining.
Yes. And bless you.
Thank you.
We kind of find out that Mr. Halloran has The Shining because he has a kind of a moment of mind reading because he calls Danny Doc like Bugs Bunny, and Wendy's like, how did you know we called him that?
He's like, well, I must have heard you call him that.
But at no point did she call Danny Doc.
Yeah. And this is when we learn that his grandmother and him would have like entire conversations completely in their minds. And she taught him how to use the shine. And just sitting there eating ice cream,
which we're kind of skipping. Mr. Halloran kind of, while giving the tour, looks at Danny while still talking to Wendy, and telepathically he's like, how's some ice cream sound, Doc?
And like his eyes just go, what?
Like, it sounds creepy until you realize Dick Halloran is one of the good guys.
Dick Halloran is literally the nicest character in this movie. Yeah. Because he cares more than Mr. Ullman does.
Yes.
And he's literally like, I will be there should you telepathically call me no matter what.
Yeah.
He's, I know it tries to sound like he's like a fatherly figure when he does have a father, but
it works.
It's more of like a mentor, esque vibe to it. But they're just sitting there, and Danny just asks, "What's in room 237?" And I love Dick's reaction. He's just like, "Huh?
Don't go into room 237.
And he says it like 3 or 4 times. And then we just get black screen. And it's like 2 months later.
Yes. And it's around this point in time where, bad weather is really starting to come in. It's expected within the next 2 days.
Days or so.
And Wendy is making supper, dinner, lunch, one of the two. One of the three.
She makes Jack breakfast in bed.
Yes.
Because he hasn't wrote anything yet. And I guess he's been staying up late nights and waking up. I think it was like 11 o'clock or so. And he's like, I haven't gotten any writing done. I need to get back in the rhythm of it. And Wendy pretty much says, this place kind of scared me at first. And then this is when Jack starts to kind of play like, huh? Like, there's just something off.
Yeah.
Because he pretty much is like, I know it's crazy, but the first time I came up here, it felt like I'd been here before. Like, create like more intense than deja vu.
Yeah.
And
like a vision.
Kind of, yeah. And that kind of like, it's kind of seeding something, but it is and isn't at the same time. But then again, that's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
Danny and Wendy walk in the maze, and they complete the maze. And there's this crazy shot and this is the only shot that has CGI in it.
Which it's a good shot.
There is a model of this hedge maze in the hotel lobby. And so Jack just looks down on it, and it gives the impression of he's watching them in the maze.
In the still model.
Yes. And it's not. Then again, that's also open for interpretation too. I would say he's not watching them. I would just say it's just a neat shot of just kind of like making your mind think that the maze is endless.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it.
Which it kind of does.
Yeah.
Because it loops.
Yes.
Like if you look at the aerial shot, you can see like, yeah, it's like a ring pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And this is when we get one of those big wheel scenes with, yes, just 2 straight minutes of just watching a kid ride on a big wheel in circles.
It's funny.
I've always liked the sound of it, like as he goes on hardwood floor, then on carpet, then back on hardwood floor.
Yeah.
It's just satisfying for some reason. But he stumbles across room 237.
The bedroom.
And he gets off of his
trike.
Yes.
Big wheel.
He touches the door handle, and he gets a flash of twins. Which, by the way, we have to mention we've seen these twins once more in the movie already. On closing day, Danny's playing in like a little arcade or whatever.
He's playing darts. This is the only scene I really remember well, because okay, I'm taking over for this. He's playing darts, right? The camera's really zoomed out on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws all his darts. He walks over to the board. The camera follows him flawlessly. And then he gets to the board and it just zooms in. And it's so crappy. I don't know why.
It's just like a quick zoom in now.
Like it feels so rushed.
But then his expression's like, huh?
And we find out why.
It's 2 weird looking twins.
Yes.
In blue and white dresses.
Now, back to you.
And that happened on a Tuesday. I'm not gonna do every single one of them.
Please don't.
But the next scene we get, but like here's the thing: when some of these days, it's just like one scene, and then it jumps to another day.
Yeah.
But like that's the other thing what he was trying to do. He was trying to make it feel like you are in this period with them.
Right.
And for anybody who has seen any imagery of The Shining might know this scene. It's Jack staring out a window and just like staring into like the nothingness. And that's when people are like, well, he's probably starting to go a little crazy.
I feel like now would be a good time to mention the carpet. The oh so famous carpet.
Oh, the orange, brown, and red carpet.
The hexagonal. It. I like the pattern,
Yes.
but at the same time, it's like,
We've seen it everywhere.
yeah, it's. Ooh, I love it, but I don't at the same time, because it's like, oh, yeah, I watched The Simpsons, and that showed up like 47 times in 3 different episodes.
Which I do want to bring this up right now.
Treehouse of Horrors,
Yes. And one of them, they did
a Shining.
parody called The Shinning, where Dick Halloran is replaced
by
by
Willie.
groundskeeper Willie, and it is the greatest piece of Simpsons anything ever.
Yeah, here's a fun little fact. We're getting sidetracked, but since the Simpsons movie, he has nonstop been watching the show.
And I thank you for bringing The Simpsons to me because I've tried to watch them before and I just couldn't do it. But now it's my everything.
Just from the movie.
You introduced me to the great piece. Now I'm watching the other pieces.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. I have become my full Homer. Yes. Which I'd have had people tell me I am the Homer Simpson of their life.
I wouldn't take that as a
I
compliment.
know, I'm thinking about it now, like, wait a minute, I've just been insulted.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a really not creative insult.
But Marge.
All right, now back to what we're talking about: The Shining.
Okay. Not The Shinning, The Shining. We get in this scene I kind of talked to you about because if anybody who knows anything, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yes.
This scene, Jack is in his office typing, and he pretty much just like yells at Wendy. At this point, we start to see the abusive side of Jack,
Yeah.
which she has alluded to, but he keeps it under wraps, and it's
Yeah.
and it's because he's been sober 6 months, and drinking was a big issue for him. He had hurt Danny once, and that was right before Tony showed up. And he went sober after that.
Yeah.
And at this point, you kind of start to see that abusive side of him come back out.
Because what was it? He went to go pick Danny up and accidentally pulled his arm out of place.
He pulled his arm out of its socket or dislocated his shoulder or something like that.
Yeah. And I think he says, like, I wasn't trying to hurt the guy. I just
Like he genuinely loves his family to a degree.
it's just he's got problems.
He's
And he's overcame one of them.
Yes, he overcame his drinking. But then again, that's a part of the interpretation.
Yes.
Does he love his family? Does he resent his family? Is the things at the hotel making him hate his family? Is it just him going crazy? That's one of the things like you have to think about when going into this movie. Do you want to go full supernatural that the novel actually is, or do you want to go down the more realistic, just losing your mind route? And I think when you do that, you're going to see two different films here. But at this point, I asked you, do you think he's typing all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy?
At this point, yes. Only because of the fact that,
How he reacts?
yeah, it's like, because Wendy asked him, like, hey,
You want to have like supper or something?
no, it was, can I read what you wrote in so far? Or
Mm.
writ so far?
That is correct. That is correct.
And he then has pretty much like a small mental breakdown over it.
Pretty much tells her to get the F out like several times, which,
Yeah.
by the way, there is hard language in this movie.
Yeah. But I think he wasn't writing a story. He was writing all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy,
Mm-hmm.
which is why he didn't want Wendy to see it.
Yeah. And it's right after this that we get the famous hallway scene when Danny comes around the corner in his
On
big
his
wheel,
yeah, on the
and
big wheel.
and that's when we get the "Come play with us, Danny," and it flashes with them getting killed by an axe or whatever.
The sisters and then the mother.
Yes. Then it jumps to another day.
Which, real quick, you got to give props to the cleaners.
Yes.
Getting all the bloodstains out of the
That
carpet.
that hallway was messed up, dude. But anyway, it jumps to another day, and Danny and Wendy are watching TV in, I think you said it was the lobby.
That's what it looked like to me. Like they just moved a few couches there.
Nice. And I will say this little fun fact, because when I had first watched this movie on DVD, what they were watching is black and white on the DVD version, and on the Blu-ray version, it's in color. I always found that kind of cool. But he asks if he can go get his fire engine toy, and she says, "No, your dad's asleep." And
Which it was what, like 1 o'clock at that point?
It's definitely either late morning or early afternoon, one of the two.
Yeah.
But he goes to his room, and Jack's sitting there in bed, just staring out the window.
I don't even think it was out the window. I think he was just
staring into the nothingness again.
dissociating.
Yeah.
And he notices Danny come in.
Yeah.
And so he like pulls him over. It's like, you know how much I love you, buddy. I love this place. I could stay here forever.
And like the creepy thing about this scene is at the start of it, it seems sincere.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Are you having fun, son?" He's like, "Yeah." Just a kid answering his dad. And I love when, because Danny asks him like several questions, and like each time he asks him a question, Jack gets more and more
irritated.
Yeah.
It seems. Like it's not words. He's not getting irritated, but you get this gut feeling.
There's definitely change as the conversation goes on.
Annoyance.
That's the thing. It's hard to read, but like you just tell something's changing as
the conversation continues.
And then a conversation changes again when Danny just asks, "You'd never hurt me and Mom, would you?"
And I think that's what the breaking point.
Yeah, because he's like,
"Did your mom send you in here to ask that?"
Yeah, because and Jack will talk about this in a little bit, but he's like, "She never let me forget what happened."
Yeah.
And like, I understand why she would, but like, he literally changed himself after the incident.
For the better.
Yes. And like, it sounds like she just brings it up all the time.
Yeah. Now, how true that is, again,
but like,
up to interpretation.
Yeah. But like, the thing is, like, the marriage clearly doesn't work.
No.
And like, I understand, like, I don't know if either of them are just sticking with it for Danny per se, but like, neither of them are good for each other.
No.
Um,
Wendy,
I don't want to say she's a nag.
I wasn't going there. I say she's more an airhead, it
Mm.
seems. Because it's always,
She always tries to make conversation when conversation doesn't need to exist.
yeah. And she always seems oblivious, except for when it's right in her face.
Yeah.
And it's no longer a matter of asking questions, it's a fight or flight situation.
Yeah. Um okay. And so this jumps to another day, and Danny's playing on the carpet with his toys, and he looks up and notices that room 237 is open. And so
Is it Danny or Jack?
it's Danny.
Okay. Yes.
And
That's right.
so he goes in, and it cuts to Wendy in the boiler room messing around with something.
That's right.
And then we just hear Jack just screaming. And he pretty much, and I think this is the last time we see real Jack.
Yeah.
And he pretty much is like, I had the worst nightmare ever. I dreamt I chopped you guys up into little pieces. And you see the fear in his eyes. Because, like, he loves his family.
It's portrayed that way.
Yes. And then Danny comes in, and he's got a bruise on his neck.
Yeah.
And Wendy just blames him automatically. And Jack is like, what?
I didn't do it.
And, like, she doesn't even listen to him.
It's like, at that point, I don't know. I kind of shifted from liking Wendy as much because she rushed to Jack to find him deep in a coma like sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and she woke him up.
Yeah.
And what, how fast would Jack have to have been running?
But then, like, there's also the other side is, like, they're the only people there.
Right.
But, like, I would at least have, like, put up the conversation
Yeah.
instead of just be like, you did this.
and running away.
Yeah. And then this is when we get Jack going into the ballroom. And
Which, by the way, was brought up before.
yes, it was on the tour, the last real time we saw it. And he's sitting at the bar, and they took all the booze out of the hotel for
Yeah.
winter.
It saves on insurance, they
Yes.
said.
And smart, very, very smart.
And it even shows an empty bar case
Mm-hmm.
when they're going through the tour.
Yes. And Jack just starts talking, and he's talking to Lloyd.
Yes. Lloyd is a bartender.
And this is where the movie starts to get weird.
Yeah.
It's when it becomes less of an interpretation and more of like it's still up for interpretation, but it's more of,
Hope you know what's going on, because we don't.
it's pretty much like you're gonna have to believe what you believe, and you're pretty much stuck with that for the rest of the time.
Yes, because, as we said, there's no booze in the entire hotel,
Yes.
yet the bar is now completely restocked
Mm-hmm.
with a bartender.
And I the only way I feel, there are two ways you can look at this movie from the rest of the film. One, that there are spirits in the hotel, or Jack's mind is just that far gone. I know, because of the way the actual book plays out and the second story, obviously, it's spirits. It's spirits adjacent. But if we're just watching this movie, it could go either way.
Yeah.
But it's pretty. There's echoes in the hotel of, and
Past inhabitants, workers.
because. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay. Um, should we explain what's going on with the hotel itself?
I feel like we need to give a little broad outlook on what The Shining actually is.
Okay.
I mean, like it, because like it's
Have
not.
fun with that.
Yeah, that ain't no kidding. Um, so essentially, the way it's explained in Doctor Sleep, and Doctor Sleep explains the world so much more. Essentially, every human being has hint of shine in them,
Yes.
but
And
just some people have it more than others.
like
Da-
Danny.
Danny is essentially like a battery in terms.
So let's take Wendy,
Mm-hmm.
compare her to Danny. Wendy would be a AA battery. Danny would be a
Car
car
battery,
battery.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people and sometimes places feed on shining, and the hotel feeds on shining.
Yes.
So like normally the hotel would not be able to act like this,
No.
but because Danny is there,
And for as long as he has been,
the hotel is starting to be able to manifest its echoes
yeah.
and manipulate things. That is the honest way it's explained in the books.
Which, thinking about it, after what I just said, that kind of makes sense why, as time goes on, a little spoiler alert, but we'll get to it, the ballroom gets more filled.
Mm-hmm.
It's because Danny has been there for so long.
And it shows the digression of Danny as his mental state kind of recedes.
Which I wouldn't say that's from the hotel. I just say that's from
It's from a little bit of everything.
yes,
Definitely.
trauma.
Yes. And I love how in the second film Dick says there's light and dark shining, kind of essentially. And everybody has light and dark. It just depends on which one you go off of more. And he said that the hotel fed off of Jack's darkness. I like that. I think that's why he was able to see everything. I think he had shining too. I don't think he was as strong as Danny,
Oh, definitely
but
not.
he definitely had some, and that's why they were manipulating him.
I would say he had more than the average person,
Yes.
but less than Danny. Like in that safe middle ground.
That, and he was unaware of it.
Yes.
And so pretty much he's like, "Can I have a drink, Lloyd?" And he pretty much just spills his soul to this bartender, quote unquote. And at this point, he literally says to him, like, "I would do anything for Danny. I love him." He says it sarcastically, but like I do think there is
Honesty.
mean honesty there. And like he was like, "I hurt the kid once, and I didn't mean it, and she never let me forget it, and she never will as long as I live." And you feel,
You feel bad for
I
him.
know, and
Like I understand he was drunk,
mhm.
but
He fixed himself.
and accidents happen regardless.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, yeah, he uh didn't quite understand his own strength at the
Mhm.
time, but he wouldn't deliberately hurt Danny.
No.
But um I have a question,
Mhm.
and I think I already asked you this. So we know Jack ordered bourbon, scotch,
Mhm.
something. Do you think that's real, or do you think it's the hotel influencing him?
Um, I think on one hand, I just think it's the hotel manipulating him, because like when you come back and Wendy talks to him, he's just sitting there. There's like
Yeah.
nothing out or whatever. Obviously, it's definitely the hotel manipulating him. And it,
So technically, he's still sober.
yes,
Good on him, I guess.
yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, you're getting
if
manipulated by an evil hotel. Yeah, you're still sober. You're fine.
hey, as long as you're drinking that dream whiskey, it ain't real, son.
Exactly.
It gives you the taste, but it doesn't give you the effects.
I
Heck yeah.
think at that point that's just alcohol-free alcohol.
Yeah.
But back on track. As you said, after a little bit of time, Wendy comes to look for Jack.
And she has a baseball bat. She's hysterical. And she says, there's a crazy lady in one of the rooms. And Jack pretty much is like, are you out of your freaking mind? And she's like, no, it's the truth. Danny told me. And he's like, okay, what room is it? 237.
And here's my thing. I do believe even up to the end of the movie, Jack would do anything for Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wendy was who his real target was all along.
Yes. It was until he meets Grady.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But up until that point, you can clearly see him becoming more and more aggressive towards Wendy.
Yes. And at this point we cut to Dick in Miami in his winter home with the afro of the afroiest pictures I have ever seen.
I don't think I'm understating this. There is a picture of a chick with an afro as big as her body.
Imagine a 20, 30-gallon cowboy hat as an afro. Not lying. And at this point, Dick starts to get the shine, like pretty much like a phone call.
We didn't mention Wendy was checking out the phone lines.
She communicated with the officer.
Yeah,
It was like a week or so ago, I think, in timeline. Anyways,
yeah,
the phones don't work.
But that's an important part.
Yes.
But
yeah, she uses the radio.
Yeah, and she gets a hold of a forest station.
It's some deputy of some kind.
But they tell her, like, hey, I think it would be best if you kept your radio on from now on. Because she's trying to get a hold of the outside world.
Yes.
So now we can cut to
yes,
Dick.
And so, and this scene is really weird to watch Danny in, because he's pretty like shaking and drooling,
like having a seizure.
Yes, and it's pretty much around this time where Danny just kind of vanishes, and Tony takes over like his entire body.
Yeah.
Like for the next half hour, he's like, "Yes, Mrs. Torrance,"
and
she's not really understanding why it is.
But it's
she's like pretty much treating it as like a trauma response.
Yeah. Dick Holloway tries to get a hold of the hotel, doesn't he?
Yes, he tries several times. He calls the sheriff's office and he said they were doing fine, but then like the feeling doesn't go away, and he pretty much gets a flight to Colorado.
Yeah.
And at this point, we get the bathtub scene.
Yeah, you can have fun with that. I do not want to describe it, much less remember it.
So Jack goes in the room, in this green and purple hotel room.
237, by the way.
237.
Ugly room.
Literally Joker room, if you would want to call it that.
But worse.
Yes. And so at this point, he goes in the bathroom. There is a beautiful naked young woman there.
Coming out of the shower.
Yes. And Jack's like, boobies, kind
Yeah.
of.
Pretty much.
That's the expression on his face, anyways. And he starts kissing this girl. But then he looks in the mirror and sees that her body is molded and rotting, and he realizes it's a corpse that he's kissing. And he pretty much runs out and just like backs up and just like locks the room or whatever.
And it's an interesting scene.
And you gotta remember, this was the last piece I saw for years. And that's not what you want to end this movie on.
No.
And at this point, Wendy is talking to herself about getting away with Danny, just leaving if Jack won't go with them or whatever. And Jack comes back and he's like, there was nothing there. There was nothing in the room. And at this point, this is like the last time Jack talks to him, essentially.
Yeah.
And pretty much like, you've screwed my life over this far. I'm not going to let you screw this up for me. I'm done with you and everything you have done to my life or whatever. Pretty much giving her, I don't want to say what for, but he's just letting out all of the feelings he just normally wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Pretty much like letting all those repressed emotions out in a very psychotic fashion.
Yeah. Like you definitely can tell, like, at this point,
He's gone.
yeah, it's no longer Jack. It's the hotel is
Yeah.
what I would say.
And I'm pointing this out to you as this scene ended. As he walks away out of the living room, he stares dead center into the camera as he turns to go down the hallway to leave the room.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, he doesn't. And I rewinded it, and you saw it.
Like, oh, why?
We got like evil side eye from Jack Nicholson, and it made me uncomfortable.
Which, granted, didn't we say he probably did that to not run into the camera?
I think so.
Because there's no other reason for that.
Yeah, it's
Especially with doing 100 takes per scene.
yeah, right? Like I don't know why that one snuck through, but whatever. So at this point, Jack heads back down to the ballroom and he notices there are balloons and streamers everywhere.
It's a whole party at this point.
It's like I think it's a New Year's party.
Yes.
And we meet Grady.
First, doesn't he talk to Lloyd again?
Yes, he talks to Lloyd. He asks him how much he owes. He said his money's no good here. And he's like, who's buying my drinks, Lloyd?
I want to meet the man that's buying my drinks.
And Grady spills
guava juice, something guava or apricot.
Avocado. It's something like that. It looks like
something fancy, but also looks really nasty.
It looks like pudding in a wine glass. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And I think that's the last time we meet Lloyd.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
I brought this up to you. Not once when he is on screen does he blink.
No, he does not.
And I think Grady is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them blink, whereas every other character
blinks
frequently.
Yes.
Except Danny, but
that's because he's a child actor.
Which, not. You also got to think, like, oh, I had a good reason. Probably because of Tony.
Maybe. It's a decent reason, I would say.
Like, I know when Tony takes over, he doesn't blink at all.
No, he does not blink at all.
Which I think that's such an interesting fact of little...
Right.
What am I... It's a neat little tidbit they added in.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that kind of discerns who's real and who's not.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And you caught that before I did, which you're getting better, sir. This podcast has done something for you.
Well, stuff like that I notice. Like,
Mm.
I always have a weird fascination of watching eyes
Yeah.
in movies.
They are the gateway to the soul.
And it's like, oh, that guy has not blinked once. Something's up with him.
They just really intercut just a bunch of saline shots.
But real quick, I know I brought this up to you, and then immediately after talking about Lloyd not blinking,
Mm.
I was second guessing myself, like, do any of the characters blink? And then Jack immediately blinked. I'm like,
Jack blinks a lot.
yes. But anyway,
And this is when we get the infamous red and white bathroom sequence.
a real liminal space.
Yes, very liminal space.
And for those of you that don't know what liminal is, it's like a space that doesn't feel real,
Yeah,
but it is like a
kind of got a little pocket dimension.
like
Kind of
a completely emptied out Walmart where the only thing left is the shelves.
Yes.
Like this feeling that you don't belong, but it's somewhere that you can get access to.
Pretty much, if anybody listens to this and knows common culture, back rooms.
Yes, that is probably the biggest example of liminal space.
Yes. And
Anyway,
Grady's pretty much like, and Jack is like, "Weren't you the caretaker here?" And he's like, "I don't think so, sir." And we pretty much puts up the charade of like not knowing what he's talking about, and then Jack just is like,
you were
the caretaker here.
I know. You killed your daughters, chopped them up into little pieces.
And then blew your brains out.
Yeah.
And Grady's like, "I don't remember that part, sir." And I like the fact that he just gives up the charade. Is like, "I corrected them, sir." I love that guy's voice. It's so cool. He's like prime British voice. I love it. But
Grady then brings in Dick Halloran. Right?
Yes. He's like, "Your boy is trying to bring in help from the outside," and he's like, "He's a very willful boy." He's like, "Who is it?" He's like, "The cook." And he's like, "The cook?" Like they literally like say the cook like 3 times. And some very, very, very obscene language that we cannot say on here for any reason whatsoever.
It was
the 70s,
yes,
when they made this,
but
so it was a different world back then. Please keep that in mind.
When you watch the movie, do be prepared for that kind of language.
Very, very hard language.
It is. That's the only scene it shows up in, but
yes,
it comes up 3 times.
Yes,
one after another.
Yes, very harsh language.
But Grady then tells Jack, "Your boy has the shining, or the shine."
It essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And what does Grady like send him on a fetch quest for Danny? Then
Pretty much wants him to kill him.
Kill Danny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that way the hotel can just have the rest of the shine. And he's like, "The mother interferes when I try to punish the boy." And Grady's pretty much like, "Punish her too, sir." And
No.
it
No,
not
like
that.
No, I was gonna say, just not like that didn't happen. Just no, that's not a good idea. Let's not do that.
Yeah. But and then it jumps to the next day. And this is the last day of the movie.
Yes, and this day continues into the night, which doesn't happen all that often.
No, because like I'm just gonna break this down for you.
Break it down, beatbox.
After this, so, and I'm sorry, I've almost forgot this. This is the red rum sequence.
Oh yeah,
before the day changes.
That's right. And I would say this is probably the last this is the last time it cuts to night,
Yes.
because the next time it gradually you see the day change.
Mm-hmm. And Jack breaks the radio.
Yes, he takes off the cover.
He takes out two of the solenoid
Computer bits.
computer bits. We're
And-
not qualified to say
Which
any
I
parts.
think is so funny because in my mind, like I know the reason is he doesn't want Wendy to get contact with the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but in my mind I'm like, oh, he just can't figure out how to turn it off.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And the whole reason he found it was because the sheriff department was trying to contact them.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, Dick is flown into Boulder.
Kind of,
It's somewhere in Colorado. Denver. He flew into Denver.
because
right.
he said it would be another 12 hours before he gets there.
5 or 6 hours, something like that. Just because like the roads are complete and utter garbage.
Yeah.
Like when they were like when we were watching this, like it literally looks like a sheet of ice that he was driving on.
Oh yeah.
And he's in this little car and you see semis like completely flipped over or whatever. It's like, man, I wish I would have asked for a better rental car.
Like, man, this SUV really isn't cutting it right now. I feel the tires going all over the place.
And you realize you're upside down on your roof.
Yeah, I should have saw that coming. That's what I get for paying $3 a night for a car.
No. And then we get the scene where we get all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yes.
And I was talking to you about this. I feel so bad for the assistant that had to type the 10 pages that she looked at. I think it was more than 10 pages.
Oh yeah, because she flipped through the half the stack,
Yes.
and all of it had different formats
It's
for
all
writing.
different formats, different styles, different spacing, different indentations.
And what made it worse
It's
is
all typewritered.
yeah, but even then, it can't just be clickety click click click. No, every now and then 2 letters would overlap.
I know.
So whoever wrote that would have to put the paper back a little bit just to type it again.
Whoever you are out there, I hope you got paid a substantial amount
At least
for that torturous time.
like $20 per page.
Jesus, I would hope so, because that I could not do that. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna find me another director to work for later. Peace.
Oh, imagine how many of those pages were not usable.
Oh no.
Like, I can't remember the director's name, but imagine he's like, these are all the same page. I want difference.
He's like, sir, I typed you 100 pages. Give me another 100. In that part, you just see the soul leave the typist's eyes. This is what I left college for.
I would quit on the spot.
I would cry and then I would quit.
Ridiculous. But anyway.
Wendy and Jack have a very intense conversation.
And it pretty much just consists of Wendy walking backwards up the steps.
And Jack just being like, you want to help Danny, don't you? And so Wendy starts walking backwards up a set of stairs. And this is when the iconic, Wendy, give me the bat. Give me the bat, Wendy. And she hits him over the head with it.
And he
goes tumbling down.
All the way down.
Yes. And this is when, and then he cuts to him kind of waking up ish as she locks him in the food cellar.
Yeah. Which, kudos to her for being able to drag him all the way there.
Oh, absolutely.
How long do you think that would have taken her?
I'd say probably 5 minutes.
You think that short amount of time?
Well, it also doesn't really give us any real distance
That's
between
true.
the two places. because like it just cuts. There's no like actual like travel time in between those kind of locations.
Right.
And then we and Wendy takes
A knife.
the knife, and Jack wakes up and pretty much goes.
At this point, it's no longer Jack.
Yeah,
It
much-
is completely the hotel trying to trick Wendy.
yes, and he's like, "I got a surprise for you." And it turns out he broke the snowcat, which was their only means of transportation if they needed to get off the mountain.
Yeah.
And so, and this is Thursday. This is in the morning, and it cuts to 4 p.m. And the first title card was for 8 a.m. I'm not saying all this transpired at exactly at 8 a.m., but definitely some hours had passed in between Jack getting locked up and.
Yeah, because he got knocked out the night before.
This
Yeah.
was all in one day.
Okay, then it had to be before the sunrise, because if you look out the window, it's completely dark out.
At this point, yes. But like when Wendy and him are having that conversation,
It's dark out.
it's like the windows are like white. They are. Trust me, I've seen this movie a lot more times than you.
I'll take your word on it then,
Okay.
Mr. Know-It-All. You can finish the rest of the
Because
podcast
like that's
by
one of the
yourself.
things I like about the movie is because whenever it tries to look outside, it makes it look like there's nothing there, like they're that alone and isolated, right?
Okay.
And so then it cuts to 4 p.m. Jack is obviously been eating or whatever. He's like snacking on a couple things.
Couple. He had like 4 packages of crackers open, an entire family pack of Oreos, peanuts. He was sleeping on, what was it, rice?
Yes.
He was more than snacking.
And then I think about the Homer version when it's like twice as much food has been opened. But Grady opens the door for him and says,
After waking him up.
we think you're not as willing to do this as you seem to be doing this." And he's like, "Nothing would please me more, Mr. Grady." And then the door opens. And that pretty much at that point pretty much solidifies that like
Ghost.
there's supernatural stuff happening here. Then Dick arrives
Yes.
with the snowcat. Danny writes red rum on that door.
Wendy is asleep.
When he's asleep, he takes one of her lipsticks
Yeah.
and writes red rum on the door.
Yes, and he has her knife as well, so he walks up. Red rum. Red rum.
And like this is not the first time he's said it, but this is the first time he's like chanting it and squealing. Because like
And
because like the night before Tony was saying it once or twice, but like this is him like losing it.
this wakes Wendy up. And so she's like startled by Danny saying red rum with lipstick in one hand, knife in the other.
Yes.
And she then screams, looking at the reflection.
And it says murder. Murder
So-
most foul.
I would say that would be pretty ominous,
That would be very alarming to wake up to.
especially when a 5-year-old managed to do that.
And especially when 2 seconds later a axe comes through your door.
Yes.
And this is when Jack says, "Honey, I'm home." And then they lock themselves in the bathroom and we get the infamous "Here's Johnny," which was completely improvised.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I don't think you told me that.
Yeah, it was completely improvised.
Hmm.
I think if I remember right, cuz he really chopped through doors, obviously.
Yeah.
I
They didn't
think
have
they-
enough for practical effects.
I think he said they went through like 5 or so doors just for that And the funny thing is, if you look at this, because you hear the snowcat after the whole "here's Johnny" thing, and she cuts his hand or whatever. In that sequence, he only cuts one door panel, right?
Right.
When you cuts to him looking around for that noise, you'll notice there are 3 door panels chopped in that frame behind him, and I think that's hilarious.
Also, I know I said this to you, but 2 things. The camera angle or the camera work for that whole door chopping scene is really weird because
It focuses on the axe and follows the axe.
yeah. But then like I have his face in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he's in the door, for some reason he looks like a completely different person.
I can see that.
It's
Kind
like,
of.
you could not tell me that. To me, it does not look like Jack Nicholson at all.
Yeah. I think it's just because he's just throwing himself into that character.
I think it's the hair
That too.
because like,
the non-existent hairline.
well, no, not that. Like, after he gets done cutting the door and he sticks his face through it, his hairline is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see his eyebrows and you can see his face clearly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the lack of hair and probably the fact that his face is wrinkled from smiling that
Right.
throws me off. And I'm like, who's that?
Is that a stunt actor?
But then, like, he walks away from the door and it's like, how? How is that the same guy?
Movie magic.
Except there was no movie magic.
It's just face magic.
Jack Nicholson can change his face at will.
Jack Nicholson.
Shut up. Don't make fun of my lisp.
I'm not trying to, sir. Anywho,
You're on thin ice, bub.
literally. But
Anyway,
Dick Halloran, Danny has escaped through the window
yes.
of the bathroom. Wendy's trapped. Danny runs back inside, hides in the one of the kitchen under drawers or whatever.
Yeah, it's like one of the movable island carts.
Yeah.
And he hides inside that.
And so at this point, Dick has entered the hotel and he's yelling for anybody there. And this is the biggest jump scare in the movie. Out of nowhere, Jack comes out just yelling and stabs Dick in the stomach with an axe.
Yeah. And they put a lot of emphasis on that, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Danny sees this through the shine and he screams, and then I love this scene of Jack rising up because it's like a slow motion sequence, but it's just that Jack Nicholson grin, and then he just starts chasing. And he has a limp now from when he fell.
Which I was gonna say, wouldn't that be from when he fell?
Yes. So now, like, whenever he runs, he has his axe and he's just like hobbling.
And me and Carly talked about this, going back to the bathroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
The cut on his hand should have been so much bigger than what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because that wasn't like a little graze. No, she chopped at his hand, and it looked like he just got a fairly big paper cut.
Yes, and this begins the last 10 minutes of the film where
finally
it just goes balls to the walls in this next 10 minutes.
Yes.
Because at this point, the hotel is trying to get anything it can.
Yes.
And so Jack is chasing Danny. It goes out to the hedge maze. But then Wendy is on her own circuit.
Yes.
And the hotel is pretty much like throwing rooms full of skeletons, a weird man in a bear costume. A guy.
Oh, there is so much more in that room.
Yeah. I don't even know if we can talk about that kind of stuff on this on this podcast.
Oh my god, that room. Without saying anything, that room, when it came up, I'm like, what is going on in there?
You don't want to know.
I already know, and I wish I didn't.
And we meet another guy that's got like a head wound, and he's like, "Wonderful party, isn't it?" Holding up a glass of champagne, and then we see the elevator blood thing for like the 20th time, and in this 10 minutes we hear Shelley Duvall scream like 30 times. And we cut back to, this is the last time we really see Wendy, and except for like the final moments of the film.
Yeah.
But now Danny is running through the hedge maze
With Jack close on his trail.
and he's leaving footprints because it's snowing.
But Danny learns this. So he I want to say he makes fake footprints.
He backtracks and covers up some of them, and he jumps off to the side, and that way his footprints just like end.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, huh?
Oh, you know, got to give him credit. Smart kid there.
Yeah. And so Jack just starts running off into the other, and like keeps running forward, and Danny uses his footprints to find his way out.
And here's the thing. It is snowing hard right now.
Yes.
And the manager, whatever his name is, at the beginning,
Mr. Ullman?
yeah, Mr. Ullman, he said that finding a way out of that maze would take at least 2 hours.
Yeah, he's like, don't go in if you can't spend a couple hours trying to find your way out.
And I would say it's easily freezing temperatures right now.
Oh, definitely.
Actually, I would say it's
Probably below freezing temperatures.
easily.
And so Danny finds his way out.
Yes.
Him and Wendy get in the snowcat, and Jack hears it, and he just starts like howling because he's starting to freeze. He's just gone at this point.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to
Morning.
and Jack is a Mr. Freeze wannabe.
Yeah.
He's on vacation in Alaska.
He was on thin ice.
And Dick got to go to Miami permanently for vacation.
You know, Jack's ending, it came so Snowdenly.
That was terrible. I shouldn't have laughed at that. I don't know. I couldn't help help myself for that one.
You can't be so cold with my jokes.
We almost made an entire episode without crappy puns. Fantastic.
Look, it's not like I'm asking you a question.
Dear God.
Look, it could be worse. Instead of a side splitter, it could be a gut splitter.
I'm turning in my 2 weeks notice for the show.
Oh, too bad. You're in charge of it.
Crap. Okay, and then it ends, and this final shot, it zooms in on a picture.
And it looks like it was taken in like
1923 or something.
Yeah.
And Jack is in this 4th of July picture.
Yes.
How do you interpret that?
I think the way I agreed on was the hotel takes the victims and adds them
To its history?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best way I could probably describe it myself. Do you have any questions for the end of the show?
Like our normal end of the show questions?
Yes.
I do, but this isn't one of them. So at the end, we see that Jack is completely frozen, right?
Yes.
And he's covered in snow. Do you think he was like crouching down, huddled, or do you think he ended up just freezing, standing still? standing up.
I think he huddled in, try to save as much warmth as he could.
Still, that amount of snow is crazy.
It's also the mountains of Colorado. So,
right.
Okay, what are your questions?
Would you take the job at the Overlook Hotel without any prior knowledge?
No,
Why?
because I don't like isolating myself.
Right.
Being alone is like the one thing I don't like. Only because like I grew up kind of a loner, not a loser, a loner.
Yeah, close enough.
But yeah, I just don't like the isolation mentality anymore. Like I'm okay with it like a couple hours a day, like I have my me time or whatever.
Right.
But like from months alone being trapped with somebody, no, oh god, no, I don't want to do it with you. No.
Oh, come on. Come on. You don't
we,
want to take care of an entire hotel for 3 months with me?
we wouldn't even acknowledge the hotel's existence. We'd just be doing the show.
Hey, guys, welcome to the show. Shut up! We're recording!
Sorry,
Sorry.
those was the ghosts.
The guests get quite active once we decide to start recording.
I know Lloyd's being a tool over there trying to serve us ghost whiskey. It's just so annoying.
All right.
I don't have any. I couldn't think of any.
Really?
I know it's weird. Okay. If you were Jack, would
Okay.
you have tried to put up more of a fight? Or do you think fight is even possible against something of that nature?
See, I don't think Jack had no chance because the hotel was drawing on his substance abuse of alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and there was literally none,
Yeah.
which it was luring him in
Mhm.
slowly. I think I could do better
Right.
because
You don't have that dark.
I don't have that
darkness.
substance abuse.
Yeah.
So I think I could last a little longer if I was Jack,
Yeah.
but I don't think I wouldn't get out scot free, but I don't think I wouldn't get as far as he progressed.
Right.
What about you?
I I would like to think I would make it a little bit longer because like I don't drink, I don't smoke. I they probably like me like you can't have root beer or something. You can't watch a movie. Pretty much like in The Shining
Yeah.
when no beer and no TV makes Homer go crazy. Pretty much kind of situation. But I'd try to hold off as much as I can.
See, I have anger issues, so I feel like the hotel trying to mess with me would just make me really mad and I'd ignore it.
That or just start using the axe and just start chopping at random parts of the hotel. Like, you like that, hotel? You like that?
Oh, you're gonna mess with my sleep? How about I take down this support pillar, huh? Oh, there goes
Crap.
the whole hotel. Oh no.
I won't get that paycheck in spring. Crap.
Oh no.
Anything else you got, sir?
Not really.
Caden, do you want to tell us what our next movie is?
Gladly. So, I'm excited for this next movie.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it in theaters, and it has been one of the few movies that had me crying.
I have not seen this movie, and you
j-
are excited for me to see this movie.
It is something I want both you and Carly to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It is a newer movie. It came out with
last year.
last year or the year before. Last year. Last
Mhm.
year. It is The Wild Robot.
And I am excited to see it.
I'm not saying anything, but I love the story. I love the characters, and I love the animation.
Yeah.
And I think it's made by DreamWorks.
Yes.
DreamWorks.
Yes, it's made by DreamWorks.
And DreamWorks has been coming out with a lot of good movies
Oh
recently.
yeah, definitely.
So
All right.
I genuinely think you and Carly will like the movie.
You realize this next episode gets us in our final 3 episodes?
Mine, yours, mine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then I want to announce this after the last movie, we're going to be doing a bonus episode.
it's not gonna be anything big.
No, it is us.
Just talking.
It's going to be us saying how this happened, and we're going to give little teases about what's ahead for us, because we have
Solid evidence.
yes, we have
Like-
things in the works. Another show.
Yes.
Um,
Season 2 of The Real Bros.
yeah,
For sure.
yes, and another potential project somewhere further down the line that we might talk about. We don't know yet.
But I will say this. If that further down the line potential show does happen,
It's going to be your show.
it will be my show. And I am excited for it because there's a lot to do.
And
There's going to be a lot of people probably involved with it.
yes, it'll be our most ambitious thing I think we ever do.
That one will not be family friendly.
No. like this other project of ours is 18 plus, but that's only because we do a little swearing and we're talking about specific subject matter. But like this other project of yours,
Full stupidity.
yeah, if you do not like idiotic bull crap, you're not gonna like this show.
But
Once we talk about what it is, those who like it will understand why it is the way it will be. So, okay, guys,
But-
until we see you next week on the Real Bros podcast, I am Logan Thomas,
and I am Caden Green.
and together we are
The Real Bros.
See you guys later.
See you later.